For over 2,000 years, this animal has been misunderstood. Aristotle wrote about it. Children's movies have turned it into a cartoon sidekick, and almost everyone alive today believes the same myth about how it survives. But in 2025, scientists uncovered something hiding inside this creature's eyes that nobody had ever noticed before. Something that had been there the entire time, completely undetected. The chameleon is not what you think it is, and the truth is far stranger and far more brilliant than the myth. Chameleons belong to a family of reptiles found across Africa, Madagascar, parts of Asia, and southern Europe, with over 160 known species living today. They are famous for one thing above all else, their ability to shift color, but that single oversimplified idea has buried almost everything else remarkable about this animal. Chameleons possess one of the fastest weapons in the natural world. They see in a way almost no other vertebrate can. And the real reason behind their famous color changes has very little to do with what most people believe. To understand the chameleon is to abandon nearly everything you thought you knew. The scientific world. Let's begin with the myth itself, the idea that refuses to die. Most people believe chameleons change color to match whatever surface they're sitting on, vanishing perfectly into bark, leaves, or rock like a living invisibility cloak. This idea has been repeated in classrooms, nature shows, and popular culture for generations. But it is, for the most part, false. It's a popular myth that chameleons take on the color of what they touch. And though some color changes do help them blend into their surroundings, the skin's changing hues is in fact a physiological reaction that is mostly used for communication. The chameleon is not hiding, it is talking. National Geographic. In August 2025, researchers tested this myth directly using flap-necked chameleons placed against differently colored backgrounds, including black, yellow, and complex patterned surfaces. The results revealed something far more nuanced than perfect camouflage. Chameleons effectively adjusted their brightness to match dark environments, particularly black backgrounds, a strategy that significantly reduced visual contrast from a predator's perspective. They also showed some success, blending with simple colors like yellow, but here's the detail almost nobody knows. When researchers introduced complicated patterned backgrounds, the chameleons could not keep up. Their camouflage system has limits, and the limits reveal that color change was never primarily built for hiding at all. Chameleons. So if it is not for camouflage, what is the chameleon's color truly for? The answer involves a discovery that overturned more than a century of biology textbooks. Scientists had long assumed that color change happened simply through pigment cells, expanding and contracting beneath the skin, like ink spreading through water. Then, in a landmark study, researchers led by Michel Milinkovic revealed something extraordinary. Chameleons shift color through the active tuning of a lattice of guanine nanocrystals within a layer of specialized skin cells. A structural mechanism rather than a simple pigment-based one. In simpler terms, chameleons are not just moving colored ink around beneath their skin. They are physically rearranging microscopic crystal structures to bend and reflect light itself, the same physics used in opals and butterfly wings. A reptile evolved its own internal nanotechnology millions of years before humans invented the field of photonics, nature. And that nanotechnology serves a deeply social purpose. Research on South African dwarf chameleons found compelling evidence that evolution favored the ability to stand out against the background, rather than blend into it, particularly to impress potential mates. A chameleon flashing brilliant reds, blues, and yellows during a courtship display or a territorial standoff is not hiding from anything. It is broadcasting, as loudly as biologically possible, exactly how it feels: anger, fear, attraction, dominance, all expressed in real time across its skin like a living emotional billboard. But that's not all. The same skin holds a second hidden function. A deeper layer of crystal-bearing cells reflects a significant portion of sunlight, especially in the near-infrared range, helping the chameleon regulate its body temperature. The chameleon's skin is not just a communication system. It is also a built-in climate control unit. Scientific American Nature. However, the most shocking secret of the chameleon has nothing to do with color at all. It involves the tongue, and the numbers behind it are almost impossible to believe. A chameleon's tongue can accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in roughly 1/100th of a second. To put that into perspective, that acceleration outperforms most sports cars on the planet, and the smaller the chameleon, the more violent the strike becomes. In a 2025 high-speed video study, scientists discovered that the tongue of one of the smallest known chameleon species, an endangered animal found only in Tanzania, produced a peak acceleration 264 times greater than the acceleration due to gravity. The lead researcher admitted he did not expect to find numbers that extreme. Science, Daily National Geographic. The secret behind this impossible speed lies in a biological mechanism unlike anything else in the animal kingdom. The chameleon's tongue works on a spring-loaded system. where a cylindrical muscle wraps around a central bone, compresses like a coiled spring, and then releases, storing and unleashing energy far faster than muscle contraction alone could ever achieve. This is not muscular speed. This is mechanical elastic energy, built and stored like a loaded crossbow, then released in a fraction of a heartbeat. No insect caught in its path stands a realistic chance of escape. Whiz Weekly. And then, in November 2025, scientists uncovered a secret that had survived undetected for over 2,000 years of human observation, hidden in plain sight inside the chameleon's most famous feature, its strange, independently rotating eyes. Researchers discovered a previously undocumented anatomical structure inside the chameleon eye, a finding that genuinely surprised the scientific team, given how thoroughly chameleons have already been studied throughout history. One of the researchers admitted he assumed someone must have already reported this structure, simply because chameleons have been examined by scientists for centuries. Nobody had. This single detail captures everything remarkable about this animal. Even after 2,000 years of human curiosity, the chameleon is still revealing secrets we never knew to look for. Science daily. Every part of this creature exists in stunning contrast to itself. Its body moves with agonizing slowness through the branches. Yet its tongue strikes faster than almost anything alive. Its skin appears delicate and ornamental, yet conceals working nanotechnology and a built-in thermal shield. It is often portrayed as a passive, hiding creature, yet its true superpower is communication, loud, vivid, and impossible to ignore to anyone who understands the language. The chameleon was never simply a color-changing lizard. It is a living example of how nature builds complexity inside simplicity, hiding genuine brilliance behind a reputation reduced to a cartoon trick. The next time you see a chameleon shift from green to a sudden burst of red and gold, you will know the truth. It is not disappearing. It is speaking in a language written in light, crystal structure, and 2,000 years of evolution that science is only now beginning to translate. If this changed the way you see this extraordinary animal, subscribe for more hidden truths about the creatures we thought we already understood. But speed alone does not explain the chameleon's hunting success. There's a second weapon working in perfect coordination with that tongue, one that almost nobody considers when picturing how this animal feeds. To understand it, you have to look at the eyes themselves and the strange way they move independently of one another. Most predators rely on binocular vision, both eyes locked forward, working together to judge distance the same way human eyes do. Chameleons abandon that strategy entirely. Each eye rotates independently in its own turret-shaped socket, scanning separate portions of the surrounding environment at the same time. One eye can track a passing bird overhead, while the other watches an insect crawling along a branch below. Two completely different visual feeds processed simultaneously inside a single brain. This gives the chameleon something close to a 360-degree field of view without ever needing to move its head, an enormous advantage for an animal that survives by staying motionless and unnoticed. But the moment a chameleon commits to an attack, everything changes. Both eyes suddenly snap forward and lock onto the same target, shifting from two independent search systems into a single unified targeting system. This switch from panoramic scanning to binocular precision happens in an instant, and it is what allows the tongue to fire with such devastating accuracy. Chameleons can also see ultraviolet light, a capability that may sharpen both their hunting precision and the way they perceive each other's social displays. Colors invisible to human eyes may be fully visible to a chameleon, adding an entire hidden layer to the courtship and territorial battles happening on their skin. The scientific world. This is the part most documentaries skip entirely. The chameleon is not simply a slow, color-changing animal with a fast tongue. It is a fully integrated hunting system, independent visual scanning, instant target lock coordination, ultraviolet perception, and a spring-loaded strike mechanism, all working together in a single creature small enough to fit in your hand.